What's going on, everybody? Welcome once again to Bluedaberry Gaming. My name is Bluedaberry, of course. Today I want to talk about Donald Trump's meeting about video game violence that he had. So let's get into the video. Alright, so this all happened behind closed doors. We didn't really get a, video, so we didn't really get to see much of what was going on behind there, but we got a lot of information on what happened behind those closed doors. All right, so there was a few people there that were significant to the video game industry. There was the CEO of ZeniMax, which would be like Elder Scrolls Online playing, or they had links to Fallout and stuff like that. The executive of Take-Two Interactive, they would be there for Grand Theft Auto, probably one of the biggest games that this would apply to. And the leader of the Entertainment Software Association, they were there too. So it was a lot of people, big name people that were there in this whole meeting. They discussed how the mature games really ended up in kids' hands and how kids could be influenced by the video games and make them do something violent. They think that video games causes kids to do stuff violent with no evidence whatsoever. They think that we should restrict video games and the video game industry. In the meeting, Trump shows all these videos of video games that are really violent and probably showing some Mortal Kombat or probably some Grand Theft Auto to show like there's really violent video games. But we know that, there's a rating system for this, It's really up to the parents on having their kids purchase these games. It's not really up to the kids. I know there's always ways that kids can get into things, but really it's the responsibility of the parent, not Donald Trump, to tell you how to really raise your kids and how you should bring them up. If they're doing something bad, usually parents can stop that. That's usually their job. This is all based on what happened at Douglas High School, where the 17 people were killed in the school shooting. So this is why Trump is feeling like, since this happened and maybe the kid played video games and this is what brought him to kill all these people, which I don't really think that video games would have had anything to do with this. People have problems. There's a lot of different problems that people have, and maybe that has something to do with it, but video games wouldn't really do anything in that manner. He says that it's changing young people's thoughts and it's making them do violent stuff. The video game people try to tell Trump that there's no evidence, which I'm glad that they at least brought that up into his face. I'm not too sure if he cared or not, but they said that he was more open-minded about it. In my opinion, kids will be kids, and that's what they're going to be. If there's bad stuff, they're going to get into it one way or another. There's a lot of different forms of media that's bad, that they shouldn't be getting into, that they do get into, that could probably make it more violent, just as much as video games. So I don't think video games is the main cause whatsoever. I don't think this should even be a meeting held on stopping video game or the video game industry. I should think that it would be towards the parents of the people that buy video games. So really, but I think Trump wants to make the regulations for people buying video games a little bit harder for kids to get their hands in the video games, which in fact was probably going to make it a lot harder on us getting video games in our hands, because it doesn't really make any sense. When kids go to the stores, they are asked, how old are you? They're carded just like if they were to buy something else, that you need 18, like cigarettes or alcohol or, going to gamble. They would still need to ask for their ID. So that's where the problem would lie for kids getting their hands on mature games. It doesn't have nothing to do with video games, and it shouldn't be anything that changes the way we play video games or what they do to video games just because kids have gotten into some very violent video games. There's way more things going on in the world and things happening that could possibly be the cause, and I think they're overlooking those factors and focusing on the wrong thing. They're going in the wrong direction. And I know this is like my second time saying all this. It has to be said because this is getting out of control and I don't know what's going to happen next. And I'm kind of nervous about that, but we never know, so let's hope that nothing else happens. But you never know. Donald Trump could do anything, and it could change the way we play video games, the way we get video games, what video games we're going to get. And that's going to suck so hard. I don't want him to do this You know, we got to say something. There's got to be a way for us to speak out if they try to do something like this. And I hope we can band together as a squad, as the Blueberry squad, and really try to stop this, or just try to do something. You know, if something happens where he wants to stop us from playing these games, I think we have a right to play what games we want to, and video game developers should be able to make what games they want to and not have to think about that. There's already things that they have to think about not putting into their game already. So that's just all I wanted to say. I just really hope we could band together. If y'all are not subscribed already, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be doing plenty more videos on this. If it does escalate in that manner, I'm definitely going to be doing more videos on it, speaking how I feel, and just, you know, trying to be a voice out there for us gamers. Just, we need a voice. The voices that we do have should all band together, and we should do something, because we're the ones that play the games. I'm pretty sure Donald Trump's not playing like the newest games coming out. So I really don't think he should have the say in what we do to get video games. But that's all I want to say today. My name is Blueberry.